My teacher told the class that we are the reason for his depression. For background information, this is a junior high school honors chemistry class. It all started when we first read the classroom expectations. He seemed to have stricter rules than most of the other teachers, such as not being allowed to knock on the door if it is shut and we are late. He would also send kids out of class often and didn't really appreciate it when kids would mess up. He had a very bland way of teaching, assigning us like 5 Google Forms every day with the same format. He would occasionally do labs or a slideshow presentation, but that was very rare. I'm going to leave many personal details about him out to keep this anonymous, but one thing I do think worth mentioning is that most of his teaching career took place in Africa. This story takes place in the US. He has a much darker skin tone than most of the teachers I have had and seems to struggle a little more with speaking the English language. Anyways, our class was a typical class, fooling around in class and joking around. He was not happy about this, and would tell us that we can't disrespecting him because of the way he looks or speaks. Apparently he went to other teachers and they all said that we were very well behaved, so he would lecture the class about how we only disrespect him and not any of the other teachers. I've heard from a couple students that apparently he said something along the lines of the class being racists under the influence of Trump. I've always been a fairly good student and I seem to be rather on his better side, but I have heard from many other students who weren't on his better side who had said that they had absolutely no intentions of coming off as discriminating against him based on his appearance or the way he speaks, and they all seem to take this topic very seriously, and I think that I can very safely say that they were being truthful when they said that they did not mean to come off as this in any way. Anyways, many of the students and parents of the students emailed the school about his teaching style and how we struggle with it a lot, because he wasn't really doing anything to change it. He didn't do anything about this until the last day before November break. He told us that people were emailing the school and he was getting in trouble for his teaching. He seemed incredibly disappointed, but he asked us what he could do to improve his teaching, which I think is great. I definitely have to give him credit for that. He also said that he was disappointed that people sent complaints to the office instead of asking him questions. He also went on to tell the class that he felt threatened by the students and how if he screwed up even once, he would get tons of complaints from the parents. Anyways, we got back from break, and he had us discuss our breaks for a couple minutes, which was definitely new for the class. After we discussed our breaks, he asked us to share our breaks with the whole class, and then afterwards he asked us if we all wanted to hear how his break was. Everyone said yes very enthusiastically, and he responded with horrible. Everyone asked why, and he responded with depressed. Everyone asked why, and he went on to say how right before break he was getting tons of complaints about his teaching, and how he might lose his job as a teacher, and how he needs to have this job to get money to provide for his family, and how he needs to decide between putting up with the crap we were putting him through in order to get money to provide for his family or just quitting his job as a teacher, and continued to go on about how us, the students, were the reason he was so depressed. That class period was the last that we have ever seen him. At first, it seemed to be him absent for a week or two, and he emailed us saying that he was out due to health reasons, and would be back in January. However, my class was told by the sub that they were looking for a more long-term sub for the class. Emails ended up getting sent to parents saying that the teacher was not going to be back for the rest of the school year. I have to say that I think that many of the things he did or said were not okay, but I also can't help but feel bad for him because of all the hate he received. I truly did not hate him as a teacher or person, but I did struggle a lot with his teaching style. However, I also do not think that any of the students deserved to hear the things he said to them. I have to be honest, there was a lot he did wrong, but I still care about him. I might be emailing him soon just to check up on him, because I do think he deserves to know that at least one of his students cares about how he is doing.